The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Nobody's listening, no. Nobody's listening, no. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody's listening, no. Nobody's listening. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody wants to hear them speak.
Thank you for downloading, streaming, or however it is that you are listening to the Not Listening Podcast. I'm Adam. You all right?
Ash,
Yeah.
yeah.
Start that again, or do you want to just...
my
Yeah?
nose? No, it was a bit off-putting.
Yeah, just not-
your version of singing
Version of...
or whatever it was.
And you are?
Will.
Oh, well, so, fucking hell, you all right?
Yeah,
You all right?
I'm happy today.
You good, yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to be a great episode. I can feel it in my bones. Right, today we're going to be talking about TV shows.
Yay.
TV shows that went too far. And I'm not talking controversially too far. I'm talking jump the shark. Do you know what jump the shark
Why
means?
is it jump? What's the jump? The
We
shark?
shall explain in the episode.
Okay.
So if you're listening along, why don't you give us a tweet at Barker Podcast, at Not Listening Pod, or just go to the website, notlistening.co.uk, and check everything out. Right, everybody, get on your... I was about to say get on your knees.
Ganja?
Get on your
Ganja?
knees, but no.
How about just get on with it?
Get on with it.
Hashtag not listening.
Jump in the shark. Now, there's a term
Quite
created.
dangerous.
It is, especially with that video of that Australian guy was punching sharks. That's a reality TV show now.
Punch the shark.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't think that
I would actually... I'm sorry, I just said that, and I would actually watch that.
Yeah,
I
so
would
would I.
commission
That'd
that,
be
and I would watch it.
What, just people punching sharks?
Punching sharks, fuck it. I don't care.
I think only if they're if the sharks are given a chance to fight back.
Yeah, they've
Oh
gotta
no,
be- they've gotta be
they
full
have
to
as yeah, they can punch them back. They can eat them. They can't punch back. They ain't got fists, but they can eat them. They can do what they
Whack
want
'em with a fin.
But if you survive, you get 20 grand. Is that? It's worth it punching the shark.
Tenner.
That means the shark though. If it's a little baby, then it's a bit unfair.
I'm talking great whites.
I must admit, there's a number of celebrities I'd be well up for seeing go for the whole shark
Celebrity
punching thing.
celebrity shark punching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, Kim Kardashian first on the list. I just like to see her in a bikini get punch a shark. Right, okay, we're going off talking about it. Like jumping the shark
Yes.
is a term that was devised.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
Exactly.
Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
Right, okay. So
Thank you,
Ash
Davey.
Will knows what it's all about. You at home listeners, you're probably thinking, yeah, I know what jump the shark means. Poor old Ash over here
He's clueless.
has
Yes.
no idea what we're talking about. So we shall explain. But I'm not going to explain. Will is going to explain, but he's going to do it as one of his accents that he does.
Okay.
I'm going to use my Essex accent.
Excellent.
Go, all right, then. You're just going to do an impression of me.
No, oh, pardon me, I'm from Essex.
Are you?
Yes.
What, posh Essex?
Born and bred, old boy.
Yeah, you're posher than me. I'm a bit more Mockney, aren't I? Right, okay, anyway, go on.
So there was a large series of Happy Days, and I can't remember exactly which series it was, but it went on for years and years. And the Fonzie was well known for his cool ways.
Hey.
And he would do all sorts of cool things and impress. And there were earlier episodes where they, where Fonzie was effectively saying he did this stunt, and he then, it went all wrong, and he said, "Oh, you shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't try hard to impress." But the real turning point in quality was marked in a specific episode where Fonzie was out water skiing and did this stunt where he jumped on water skis over the shark. And this was marked as it wouldn't be something the Fonzie character would do. The whole thing has changed. It was perhaps different writers, but it was the turning point at which the programme went downhill. So Happy Days went downhill when he jumped the shark. And this has become applied to... as it's become a general term for the point at which a TV programme went downhill.
Okay. That's
Which
quite
I think is
cool.
a great
That's
term.
quite cool.
So if you're ever making a TV show and it's
Don't
doing...
have Fonzie jumping a shark.
Yeah, and you're doing really well. Ratings are high. People are raving about it. You're into season 5, and everyone's like, "This is a great show." And then suddenly, people switch off. People complain. That is
Yeah,
considered jumping the shark because you've done something to the show which has turned people off. Now it could be down to bad writing.
It could.
It could be down to changing the characters, like Will said. Like a character could suddenly just go from being really likeable to being a right arse. Changing the cast. It's just anything, any kind of change that suddenly does not work for the show. Can you name any shows you reckon that you think have jumped the shark?
The first one that springs to mind for me would absolutely be Red Dwarf.
See that
I would. That's the first one that comes to mind.
that makes me
as well.
sad because you
Definitely
love it
be.
so much.
I
It's
adore Red
brilliant.
Dwarf series 1 to 6.
Yeah,
It was the point at which they left Red Dwarf, got stuck in Starbug. That wasn't so bad, but it was the point at which
Starbug was
Kachansky came back,
Yeah.
and they got back onto Red Dwarf, which had been recreated using some nanobots or something.
Yes.
And the whole crew had been recreated, and you could tell they were desperately short of material.
Of what I started watching, that's season 7. I started watching that, and I actually stopped watching halfway through season 7, and I haven't actually seen the end of season 7 or any of season 8 because
Same
I
here.
refuse to watch it because it's not what I remember. It
And
was
we're
good
talking
and
two
funny.
people who grew up with Red Dwarf here.
It was
Yeah.
when they got a budget. All of a sudden, they seemed to get a budget. So instead of it being rickety old sets that are wobbling and all of this kind of stuff, and it was all about the content, it became special effects, and they're walking through these sort of star fields and stuff, and they've got all the old characters back.
was
So
it
it's not
funny?
just them. No.
It wasn't fun. So the
He lost
writing
it.
suffered.
The writing, well, I believe Rob Grant and Doug Naylor did split around that time, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think it might have been only one of the writers.
Okay,
Was left
so
on it.
Took it away. Yeah,
I could be wrong. I'd need to check that. I know they split for the books, but it might be that. But there were others. I would actually suggest that The Big Bang Theory has jumped the shark.
A lot of people have said that. And I think they said that Big Bang Theory jumped the shark because they brought in the female characters to be part of the main crew. Because originally it's about 4 guys, 4 geeky guys.
I wouldn't suggest it was the female characters. I would say, the Bernadette character I think is absolutely superb.
Which
absolutely
ones?
brilliant.
I don't actually watch it.
She's the short, mouthy blonde one that's with the weird
NASA
pervert Wallowitz.
Yeah.
But what I would actually say, it's the point at which Sheldon, the one of the characters in that, and I'm just realising neither of you have watched it, so we won't go into this too much.
haven't seen it at all.
But we've got Sheldon, who's the real brainiac, but won't make contacts with a human. Relationships are pointless. The point at which he sort of effectively commits to Amy, who played Blossom.
I was going to say, he goes out
Hang
Blossom,
on, as
doesn't
soon
he?
as you said Sheldon, I think I might have seen one episode round someone else's house.
It's thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say at that point,
Well
it's there's been a turning point, and it's probably just the new series, and they're running out of the good jokes, so they're trying to change things up. But it just doesn't feel the same.
See, I think Friends never jumped a shark.
I would say Friends remains strong. It did get a bit ropey with all of
Yeah.
Ross's marriages.
It
towards
can
the
go
end
up and down. Like some bits are funnier than others, but I think Friends never jumped
Some
a shark.
of the spin-offs
it
didn't
was simple.
work, but then
But surely Joey was a work of genius.
but then that's a different thing. So that wouldn't be classified
Absolutely.
as just jumping the
That
shark.
would be saying
would it?
Cheers jumped the shark when Fraser got a spin-off.
Or when Kirstie
Yeah,
Alley
that
took
was good.
over from Shelley Long. But Cheers got better when Kirstie Alley turned up.
Yep.
Shelley Long, the blonde one,
Never
left.
really,
and
I
Kirstie
never
Alley
really
turned up.
watched it.
I liked Cheers. It was a good.
That
show.
was good. Watched
But,
that as a kid.
There's some shows out there that never jumped the shark, I think. And I'm going to say things like Breaking Bad never jumped the shark. You haven't seen Breaking Bad.
I started with a few episodes of Breaking Bad and just found it depressing and unfunny.
That kept, because that actually the storyline moved on with
Yeah.
the characters as they built them up. But then going back to actually jumping the shark, then I'd say Dexter did. It
Yeah.
just went on too long. It got too samey.
Dexter jumped the shark for me when he got the kids, when Rita was killed, when Rita was murdered, and the bit
Spoiler.
when he had the baby. Well,
Spoiler.
if you've not watched it, it's several years old, and whoops.
Tough shit.
Yeah.
They changed it a bit too much, and then it got. It dragged, but that was one that I forced myself to watch all the way through just to see what happened, and it was just it was becoming a little bit of a chore to watch it.
I feel like that. I like to, if I'm going to watch a TV show, I need to keep watching it, even if it gets bad and bad. I just feel like I need to get to the end.
No, you
And
see, I don't have that. No.
I did that with Prison Break. I'm like, Prison Break.
Oh,
first
that jumped the
series.
shark after on season 2.
Yeah, it's like first series, they escape from prison. Now what? I actually want to see what happens now they've escaped.
Yeah,
And
you
in
get
the
a lot
second
of
series-
programs where the first series of the content Heroes to me was the same, and apparently the later series were quite good, and they're rebooting again now.
Heroes
It's quite
is rebooting.
Second series was abysmal.
Yeah, but they had problems with the writer's strike, so they kind of had to cut it short, and they couldn't do anything with it. But it didn't get any better with 3 and 4. But Heroes Reborn is coming out of a perfect time because everybody's well into superheroes. So that it's almost. I went back and watched the first series of Heroes, and I'm like, this is a really good show.
Was
But
that about 2006, 2007?
Yeah, but it's almost too ahead of its time. It's like it come around too early,
I disagree. I would say everyone's well, not everyone, but blokes of our age have always been into superheroes.
No, but now it's with all the Marvel shit and DC stuff's coming
It's
out.
more acceptable in the mainstream.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
do well. Like Arrow Flash.
Yeah.
Arrow Flash.
Arrow Flash.
Arrow Flash.
Arrow Flash. How are you today?
That's Hero from Heroes.
You never get a response. He's always disappointed.
No, but going back to Breaking Bad, I think the reason Breaking Bad never jumped the shark is because it had the same writer the whole way through,
Yeah.
and it was given power to keep doing what it was doing. It was never told to change by a network. The problem with some network shows in America, and it's a problem, it's always American TV that does this, is that they have too many writers, and they chop and change.
Writing teams, yeah.
And then they throw them out and they get new ones in. They complain too much. They're like, we're not getting 16 million people every night. And you're like, they never get 16 million people watching every night. So why are you rooting for 16 million people?
But you've also got alternatives. You've got things like The Simpsons, which never jumped the shark simply because they never changed the characters. It was the same,
The characters
exactly
have
the same
evolved.
traits.
The characters have
Only a
evolved.
touch.
Do you
because
think
it used to be all around Bart when I first started watching.
Sorry,
it, but then-
after the first series, basically, I would suggest
animation
it
got better.
It got yes.
I think maybe The Simpsons jumped the shark, but then sort of took the piss out of the fact they jumped the shark, and then people didn't sort of getting used to it.
I think they ignored the shark.
I think it's so
entirely.
self-aware. Simpsons like, we can jump the shark, but who cares?
Yeah. So what else did jump the shark? We've come up with a lot of examples of what didn't.
Other shows that jumped the shark, Nip Tuck jumped the shark massively because Nip Tuck was all about these plastic surgeons, and it was gritty, and everything they did, like their whole personal storylines,
Yeah.
coincided with the storylines of the people they were helping. But there's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah.
And then they got to the point where they jumped the shark when they were fucking like cutting people's faces off and reattaching them. And it's like,
Oh, we just got silly.
yeah, I thought you're plastic surgeons, not like proper people that could take off gorillas' heads and put them back on again. It's like, it got a bit to the point where I don't believe this now. I believed you were plastic surgeons. Now this is getting a little bit crazy. And it was very samey.
Yeah.
It was the same. It was like a love triangle between two friends and his wife.
Yeah.
Then he'd leave, and then she'd leave, then they'd get together, then they'd leave, then they'd get remarried, and they'd get divorced. It's like, right, I don't want to see it no more.
Yeah.
Desperate Housewives jumped the shark. And
Again, never
never
watched
I
that.
love Desperate Housewives, but
You strike me as the kind of
it
guy that would.
was so crazy. I actually had to explain to someone the other day. I was like, remember Desperate Housewives? I think I was talking to Shark. I was like, remember Desperate Housewives? So, yeah. I was like, do you remember that episode where he went blind? They went, yeah. And then he got his sight back. It was like, oh, yeah. How did he get sight back again? Because he got hit round the head with during a tornado. A fence panel hit him round the head. And he got his sight back. They're like, oh, yeah. I said, wasn't in the tornado when the guy then got a fence panel through his heart and he died? Yeah, that was it. That was the guy's like ex-wife's new husband who died. It's like, oh, okay. But wasn't that when the plane crash happened in the middle of the street during a massive barbecue? No, that was another episode. But isn't that when the ex-husband of someone else had died? I'm like, yeah, that show jumped the shark after like season 3. It was mental. And I'm like,
Too much.
talking back about it, I'm like, that's a fucking weird show. I was like, didn't she die? I was like, yeah, how did she die again? Didn't she get run over? No, she was running away. She had a house was on fire, and she got in a car and drove off. And you think, oh, what, did she die in a car crash? No, she got out of the car, and then an electric pole fell down and electrocuted her. I'm like, oh, yeah. Really? That happens?
It's a bit like EastEnders, isn't it? The mortality rate in these areas is incredible.
Yes.
Have you ever noticed, though, it's a square.
Midsummer Murders. Do you know how big Midsummer was? The village of Midsummer, and you just the amount of people that died in that place. It's like crime capital of Jersey.
You saying that
Wherever it was.
Bergerac?
Bergerac, yeah. Sorry,
Bergerac,
that's why I'm saying Jersey.
That's why you say
actually,
Jersey.
isn't it?
But that just made me think. Yeah, Bergerac, the actor who played Bergerac, he was refused permission to buy a house in Jersey because of the show that he was in. Made the crime rate look so bad in Jersey. It was a bad image for Jersey, so they wouldn't sell him a house.
Oh, okay, before we end it then, what show do you really hope doesn't jump the shark? I mean, there's a couple of shows that really did really well not jumping the shark, and that was The Office, Extras, anything Ricky Gervais that he's done doesn't jump the shark because he ends after 2 series.
The thing
40
I'm enjoying,
Towers.
yeah, the thing
40
I'm
Towers ended too soon.
Yeah, but it was good.
The thing I'm enjoying the most, that I'm expecting to see more of, that has only had one series so far, that they could do horribly badly, and I'm praying they don't, would be Daredevil.
Yeah, me
I think
too. I
Daredevil
agree.
has been absolutely
That worked.
superb. It was brilliantly done, and I'm just hoping that they keep it good. They've got new cast coming in for the next series, but if they don't keep the whole moody but fascinating character set, if they try and lighten it up too much, you know, the way Kingpin played it as a baddie, if Kingpin's not back and they get someone a bit more crap, I think it really could lose credibility very quickly.
Yeah, that one has to stay dark. They've got to do some of the dark.
Right. Oh, well.
Superhero-y style.
Well,
Jump in the shark.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to our comedy podcast.
So I'm going to go down and try and work out how I can get shark punching with celebrities commissioned.
To be honest, I'd be up for just celebrity punching. Leave the poor little sharks alone.
Just batter them with a shark.
Right.
Could be a dead
Write
shark.
that down, Will. We're going
Celebrity
to
punching.
We're going to ITV right now.
I'll just start punching the celebrities. fuck the,
Hang on,
fuck
what
the
celebrities are at
fuck,
ITV?
fuck the whole selling it thing. We'll just go straight there and beat up Ant and Dec.
That was Will's views, not mine. If you're on Twitter, why don't you follow me at Barker Podcast or at Not Listening Pod? You can keep up to date with all the stuff that's going on with the show. Will and Ash don't really do the Twitter, but they are on Grindr and Tinder if you want to follow them there. So check that out.
And check us.
Swipe right.